as I always say, might be made here in Cologne if Big managed to get to play in front of that home crowd on the stage. First map going to be Cash, and you assume this is a big map pick.
We will find out.
Next, going to go peeking over here in towards main early on. Absent finds the first onto Cold Zera down in mid. Man advantage gained early on for the big side. Whoop. Spotted by Nex. Stewie opens up Squeaky. That's going to get Nex's attention.
Ooh. Got B. Also doing damage on the other side of the map. He's going to lock down middle. It's Big winning most of their duels so far. The he's pushing in, and you can't challenge him that aggressively. He's so good with the Glock, and luckily enough, Tabson's there to pull it back in the favor of Big, leaving just Fallen stuck in a 1v4. Smooya's pushed up on B as well. May not expect the angle, but Smooya's going to take him down. Big, nice pistol round to kick things off. Near a team ace. Tabson with 2, Nex with none, but everyone else finding 1. Big going to start off this CT side here in this best of 3. And such an important best of 3. This is a game that mibr really do not want to lose. And you are correct, Harry. Big did pick this map. Overpass will be coming up as a secondary choice. A map that Big have actually shown some nice stuff on recently, but we can get to that later. And Inferno is a third.
One thing I will say, mibr, if you recall, beat Renegades on this map just the other day to open up the group stage at ESL One Cologne, taking a 16-13 win versus those guys there.
A game that Big have also won.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Oh,
Big
sorry.
just winning a best of 3 versus Renegades earlier on today. Now that came down to the wire. Now they've got to beat people who have already beaten the Renegades once. Well, nice shot from Fur. With the Deeg from atop the boost. Gobby might offer himself up to the beast next down here in mid. He's so ready. He's so ready for a little head to appear down there in Z. Rightfully called because he wants to try and put him to bed.
Gobby doesn't want to overface here. The problem is no utility for Big. No one can flash him in. No one can keep him in this position. So when the smoke comes down, he's just got to accept it. He's got a flashbang himself, but he just missed Fur crossing. I don't know if he caught him there on the boost. Oh, there he goes. Definitely would have seen that one. So 35 seconds left. He spams in through the smoke and does some damage, but mibr are splitting this bomb in through Squeaky. That's Fallen there. It's going to be Tizian on the site looking to try and hold down this round, but Godby's rotated to the wrong position. He needs to back right off towards this A site. Molotov shuts down Fallen, and Tizian finds 2 up highway. This may have just won the round for Big.
10 seconds time ticking down, and Tizian's dropped the bomb. This round comes to a close. Cold Zera might want to think about dying. There's only 4 seconds, and if he saves the Deagle and armor, I mean, it's definitely ballsy, but
yeah, it's so hard to justify that because really what he has on him is not worth more than that loss bonus. He's got 650 armor, 200 flashbang, that's 850 plus $700 Deagle. So he would rather that $1,900 loss bonus, but it is a little too late. He cannot die, and as a result, Big, they're going to pick up a 2-0, and that means Cold Zera is going to be limited on the 4th round purchase here on this T side. Big with an opportunity to bash some money and make some money, as they've got these SMGs. Tabson pushed up to main, drops Stewie early on. Big keeping the pressure up, getting in the face of mibr. And a team like this, such an experienced team full of firepower, Big cannot afford to give respect the way of mibr. They need to play like this. They need to play aggressively and get in their face. Keep these T's honest. Smooya looking to do the same as well. Tabson goes down in main, but he only gifts over an MP7, so a small consolation. And Smooya should have this kill because Bolt only's got a Glock, and there it is. Dink coming through, but that's not enough. This will be what you assume to be a nice clean 3-0 from Big.
Yeah, Cold Zera with that saved Eagle. Not a very common sight here in this 3rd round. Gonna sneak in a mid, got B. Slight peek around, didn't see anything on that. Ooh.
I Just don't peek that.
Yeah, it's Cold Zero. He's pretty terrifying. 1v4, might only be 17 HP. But this man is not one to be toyed with. Going to try and take the fight with the players up on A. They have the crossfire set up. One shot is all that it takes, and that'll be Cold 6 feet under. Big 3-0 up. Now the buy comes in, and you can see the restrictions as a result of saving that Deegan armor in the second round. Cold Zero can't afford a buy here, so going to be grabbing a UMP, some extra utility. Smoothie up. And tabseN moving into this double AWP set up early on. Wow. It's so common how often we see the double AWP from these two.
And risky to see it early on as well. If they lose this buy round, you're giving mibr 2 AWPs. And this is a team that's totally fine with taking a 2 AWP T side on this map. I don't think it's not a common thing, but I think if you give 2 AWPs away, I wouldn't be surprised if mibr took this. So let's see. Smoothie's got to be careful. He is around that smoke. Ahead of it, in fact, so no real support from godb, who's going to have to rotate round in the checkers to actually watch him and help him out. With a deep smoke of his own and a flashbang to follow, it allows these Ts, or CTs, to push up, rather. Cold Zero on the other side. And Big, I like this, they throw the utility, they don't commit with it. And the reason being is because even when mibr regain control of B, they're going to have to check some room, they're going to have to check all their corners, just in case Big have pushed, even though they haven't. So now we settle back into events, boost up with godb. Smoothie is still watching that B main with the AWP. But mibr, they want to take mid.
They most certainly do. Things going to heat up for godb there in the vents. He gets Molotov'd out. mibr managed to take control of mid. It's tabseN looking down highway. Double peek into it. Feeling more like Hell's Highway at this point as tabseN rules supreme over this. Well, Fur's been allowed to sneak himself into the cubby, but the time is ticking down. tabseN, along with the rest of the gang, have their work cut out for them. The push comes through. Tizian denies both players down in Squeaky, and that's going to leave Cold Zero in a 1v5. Looking like everyone might survive here on the side of Big. Cold either once again has to think about dying or saving. He can't. But his economy goes so low once again, and while he does manage one, that'll be it for him.
And that's mibr with 20 seconds left, realizing they have to push, but having no utility to do it, and Big locking down every single position. We got highway, we got main, and we got Squeaky, and that's the triple A setup for Big working wonderfully. They were perfectly poised to deal with that one. The early aggression out on B and the deep smoke held mibr back from taking any control towards B main, and as a result, Big can afford to set up with a three-man A stack, so pretty well prepared for that push. And again, no utility for mibr going out there, so they are just going to walk to their deaths in those gunfights. We have the AWP again on tabseN. Back into middle, Smoothie up on the B-bomb site. Pistols here for mibr, but a close position. Next is going to get completely caught out, overrun in fact, and a gun given to armored players. This is now a good opportunity for mibr to exploit, but Tizian, he's already traded back. IGL fallen dead, and tabseN up on the car, does not want to let these pistols get close.
Well, the M4 on first certainly has worked its way to the close angle, and don't they know it? 2 quick kills, Tizian. Oh my goodness, Tizian is the fastest man alive. A quick flick down on the Stewie. That is not going to feel nice. Cold Zero down on the truck. Tizian's managed 2 impressive frags. He still has to go ahead and find 2 more. The bomb's trying to leave. What's he doing? How's he moving so quick? He's tapping away, but Fur is finally going to delete him. That was a nice little flick, though, from Tizian and get the blood pumping. He's 10-1.
That's why you don't give Fur an M4 as well. Next getting completely caught out middle there. It was actually tabseN holding only towards the right peak in the garage instead of a wide face. So the fact that we have tabseN on the garage means maybe Next is assuming he's holding a different angle because he was just not ready for that close mid play. Big had no idea how far mibr had worked up mid, and the second they hear the nade be thrown out, they just take advantage of him having no gun in his hands. So pistols, turn to rifles, turn to a first T-side round. These Brazilians on the board here and Big, they want to try and trade it back. If they can get the reset here, even though mibr won the round, they only had 2 surviving. This would mean Big can put mibr back down to a pretty shambling economy. Easier said than done though, especially considering we have a couple of SMGs in play, but the double AWP at least is still here for Big.
Oh, next saw the shadow. As the footsteps up above, going to be relying on tabseN to watch this close angle. They have to chain together well, though. They have to complement one another, and these two certainly do. Next opens up. tabseN, 99 damage through the wall. 1 HP left on bolts. I mean, that's just devastating to have that happen, isn't it? He's going to be so upset after that one. He can try to boost up Stewie. tabseN's looking that way.
He knows.
Well, there's a reason why they call him Alt tabseN. That's what he makes the opposition do in defeat. Stewie does find that one frag down on the next. 30 seconds, though. Time becoming a problem once again for mibr. It's going to be working against them now. They've got 25 seconds as they head over here towards B. You can see the passive play from GodB and Smooya. They have to hold their own for the next 14 or so seconds to deny this bomb going down.
mibr taking so long. Smooth's going to lock down Stewie, and the second kill. That might just be enough. The Molotov's too deep. They've got to check this corner, but Fallen has his knife in his hands, rushing to get the plant and rushing to his death. GodB hides on the back of the site, and boltz cowers in fear. The round is over. The reset is here, and Big are back on the CT side. And look at the money, Harry. They've done it. Fallen and Fur, the only ones with cash. We're even going to call in a tactical pause, a good time to do so, because that's $1,900 loss bonus coming in after this round. So really, if we look at players like boltz, Stewie, they can't buy up next round. So what do you do here? Maybe pistols and armor, try and get a bomb plant, go for a double eco, or even just fully force.
They're going to go ahead and fully force by the looks of things. Fur does have the money to go for a buy. You're going to have 2 rifles up. Very selfless of Fallen, but he's throwing an AK the way of boltz. Interesting choice to put it onto boltz, who has been struggling early on, still yet to pick up a kill. Fur's looked good, as has coldzera or Stewie. You can understand putting it on one of those guys, but boltz certainly is a fragger, but it hasn't been too kind to him just yet. tiziaN. Oh, we saw a couple of little men there. Flash goes in for him, and damage done on a Fur, but well, he does do 120 damage. 126 to be exact between the two of them. It's not enough to find a kill.
That makes these nades that Big are so known for even more lethal. Problem is, close positions, pistols, name a more iconic duo. The push is coming through, the smoke is down. It allows Stewie to just dive on through. He loves these kind of plays, but Nex is ready for it. Does shut him down, and boltz even getting tagged through the smoke. It's pretty much all on Nex, hung out to dry, alone in the site, and he's going to still follow up with another kill. That's the rifle down. Fallen flashed out. Such good utility from Big. This is great team play so far. And it's leading them in a good scoreline because this is about to be another round for them. But coldzera wants none of it. Trading back, swapping to the pistol, and GodB secures it. Big 6-1 up. mibr, no money. So another anti-eco coming in here for the Germans.
This is a very, very good start from Big. They cannot be disappointed with this. mibr boys not off to the best of starts here on cash. And of course, there's a lot on the line right now. I mean, the winner will be making it through to the playoffs to start in the quarterfinals. The loser, well, they're going home. Now, tiziaN trying to hold down the site, drops the bomb. coldzera is going to pick up next with that Deeg, but that should be the end of the road here for these guys, especially as tiziaN lines up the remaining 3. 7th round for Big.
Yeah, you know what this is, Harry?
Oh, I've only just realised, yeah.
It's a German team, 7-1 up against a Brazilian team. Oh, we've seen that before. Oh. Oh. Big are getting the punches in because they are out of the World Cup this year, the Germans at least. This is probably...
yeah, to be fair, they need every victory they can get, I guess.
To be fair. And at this point, I think Brazil actually has the best chance of winning this World Cup, like maybe Croatia or Brazil. Nah, kidding. It's coming home, lads. England #1. Smooth's going to show us why. AWP in his hands, but Stewie in a smoke, and he loves it. Nex is dead this time. He can't defend in the flash Or in the smoke, sorry, with the flash in his face. It's Tabson now in the connector. He's going to run on by. mibr out in middle. Out and about. And plenty of time to really go anywhere with this. They've got the option to split that bomb in through the B site. Vents is their territory. And look at the stack Big have made. This is a complete gamble. They've left completely everyone towards this A site. They don't care about B anymore. It's not even a problem. So Bolt is outside the B site, which hints towards a late B lurk play after they've shown presence on Highway, but you've got to hope for their sake they don't walk into this A site stack. And in fact, they won't. They've made the right read, at least. Oh no. It seemed like they had, but they've fully left mid. This is a ballsy decision from mibr with a man advantage. They could have easily left a lurk there later on, but now they're going to walk into 3 players here. Smooya's on the site with God B. Tizian's up in main. This is a really good setup right now for Big, and with 30 seconds left, mibr are going to have no idea what hit them. But just as you say it, Big have fully rotated off. Dear oh dear.
It was looking so wrong. It's so right, and then it goes so wrong. Stewie about to lead the charge. Smooya drops bolts. That's the lone gunman over towards that B bomb site. Stewie's quick to get revenge. And Big are not moving. They're just going to look to hold on to these guns, perhaps. mibr are going to be securing themselves their second round. And keeping 4 players alive, potentially, as well. That's going to be... it's going to be fantastic to them. A chance to start to build up some money here.
I mean, that's just a really, really nice gamble from Big that just goes wrong in the last possible second. If Big have 3 players there when mibr make the push, that's a guaranteed, well, not guaranteed, but pretty likely Big round. Unfortunately, Tizian had no idea what hit him. It was a bullet to the face. And a round taken back by the Brazilians. That double eco certainly paying off in the long run. But still, we have these safe guns, Harry. Luckily enough, Big fully committed to that stack on B once the bomb went down, so they didn't actually get hunted, and they kept these weapons forward. 2 AWPs. And rifles on the other 3, so... their chance to bite back and get this reset that would put mibr in a bit of a compromising situation. Smooya has the AWP on B, but he's flashed off the angle. Feel like he wants to go back in for more. It is Smooya after all. He does love a pick. But will mibr give it to him? Because that Molotov is going to go land behind him, and that kind of leaves him stuck in the open. He's got to commit to this. He's got to find a frag now, at least, because if not, they might just overrun him and take him down. There's the start, but he's so blind. Needs something to help him out, and a spray through the smoke will do exactly that, but he doesn't realize Cold Zero has climbed the top of the box and dived through, because Fallen found a kill with a Molotov on God B. It's now just Tizian defending alone from the CT spawn, and Big are a man down.
They even try and go for this one. Tabson's going to be so far away. Nex might be there quite quickly. A lot of this is going to come down to whether or not Tizian can find a couple of lucky shots through that smoke. Will not be the case. And Big, once again, going to have to try and save. mibr pulling back a couple of rounds here. This will be their 3rd. And... I mean, Big, we've seen them get off to some great starts today, and then things turn sour as the game goes on. Yeah. Kind of the opposite story for mibr with their comebacks, if you think about it, in that game versus North. The amount of 12-3 halves or whatever we saw come out, and then mibr hauling their way back into that to actually close that series out. So we have, a team that we've seen keep getting off to great starts, and then it crumbled beneath them, and a team that kept getting off to bad starts and then claw their way back in. That's going to not bode too well for Big. Will history repeat itself, or yeah, I know.
You get what I'm saying. I keep.
You understand the story.
I keep messing up mibr too.
Yeah.
It's like a new name, and do we say made in Brazil? Maybe. Who knows?
I think I might just go with
mibr.
Yeah, that'll do.
Nah, we'll go with mibr.
I know that Chad calls it something wrong. I saw that there was a big thread about it. He just loves it.
I'll just stick with mibr.
It's like when he says, what is it, cash?
Oh, yeah.
But it's like the amount of times I've heard him say cash now.
Yeah,
and
he's
it's
got
like,
cash the other day
look,
on a broadcast.
we all know that you're doing it wrong on purpose, okay?
He's trying to follow up. He's trying to keep
what
his
else is it?
culture.
It's like, I mean, they call like a slide a slippy do or
No,
something
they
along those
don't. No,
lines.
they
Yeah,
do. You tell me that all the time. They don't.
It's so broken.
They don't do that. That's not real. That is actually not real.
I mean, I actually love the Australian words, but
I love some of them.
cache is just not how it's pronounced. It's
Yeah.
actually quite cool when you say it, I'll be honest. I'll give them that. It's very liberating.
Well, mibr need to liberate themselves from these early economical issues by pulling back this game. They've done a good job in these last couple of rounds, but now they've got to go one step further. Big. AWP only on Tabson here. Smooth's forfeited that as he's found little success on this B site. To be fair, only been pressured properly once, and in fact he's actually gone up on A where we've got a boost going on. A similar story in middle where Tabson's spotting over the smoke, but there's no one there. mibr are diving into B. This is the full-on rush with only got B on defense. He's got a B in his name, but has he got some bullets in his gun to fire off? It's a yes for one, but no more. Tabson, though, does lock down one player, which now makes this doable for Big. They've constantly been at disadvantages in retakes. Now, for once, they have a man up. This makes this so doable.
Most certainly does. The bomb's going to go down, but Bolts gets flushed out and in the fire. He will be burned. Stewie and Fallen. Fallen spotted out. There's a man already down in the checkers. Fallen's playing chess, lands the no-scope. Stewie, after 1v3, this is a very tall order. Gonna go ahead and get the bomb down. 2 players down in CT. That's going to be Nex and Tabson. Tizian alone in the checkers. Stewie just waiting for the peak to come through from CT. Time ticking down. Big. No, it's of the essence. And they line up for Stewie. Now he just has Tizian left to topple, and he's going to go in with the peak. Stewie gets it done. 1v3. And just like that, he might not be physically made in Brazil, but right now, he certainly is. Maybe he was. No judgment there. But 4th round. I know where his parents conceived him.
I'm glad you don't know that, Harry.
4th, yeah, that would be a weird fact to know, wouldn't it? Yeah, 12th of July, mate. Mental one.
Yeah.
Well, here's a 4th round for mibr.
I love how Big, when they went for that retake, they waited for the smoke to fade it before they pushed in, because they're like, okay, it's Stewie, just wait for the smoke. I don't want to play with this smoke. Not with Stewie. Let him hold. And yeah, a bit of a blunder there on the retake. Big and not going to be happy about giving up that round. That was so easily theirs, even before the bomb went down with that 4-on-3. Now, Harry, they're down onto pistols, and not even that good ones. We got some P250s in the mix. Smooth's already gone. Bolt has found him outside of B main, so mibr, one by one, getting picked apart. Oh, sorry, picking apart Big, but now they are getting picked apart. Where's that come from? Tabson and Nex, they both found a kill each. That's ridiculous. Got B on the site alone again, but even with this, Big are in a really good spot. Gob only needs 1 kill here to make this round a reality for Big. And Fallen, he's going to get shot in the back. Nex retrieving a gun, and Gob B dropping bolts. This round is happening. We need another big clutch, another big 1-on-3 from mibr.
Well, Cold Zera. If there's a man you'd want to clutch, it's going to be him. The flank round from Tabson, that's the difference maker here for Big. He's going to get the bomb down. Both players are Big now, having retrieved rifles to work with, even a Molotov on Tabson. That's going to go out over towards the headshot angle, so now they know that he's been forced into the bomb site. Takes the peek out, but Tizian's able to dispatch of him. So Big, they dig deep. They manage to find around on the back of the eco. And now money's going to be built up over here on the CT side. At the same time, that reset going to be coming through now for mibr.
Yeah, and we have a chance for a double AWP once again here for Big. Not only do they save one, but pretty much everyone has enough money to buy it, apart from Smooya, annoyingly enough, but he can get that dropped over. That won't be a problem. And I imagine we'll see this double AWP come into play once again. Well, not really a necessity on cash. Pause for mibr. It's not the hard reset. They've got money to buy up, just not the most money. Cold Zera might have to drop over a gun. We'll see whether he wants to give Fallen an AWP or if they want to split AKs here. But if he does, he won't have a lot behind it. In fact, he can just buy 2 AKs with armor, body armor. We'll see. So the double AWP is here. They buy that up. Tabson pulling in the second. And Harry, we've had different players step up today for Bigs. We've had Nex with a fantastic couple of maps. We've had Tabson really bring it home. Right now it's Tizian, 15-4.
Here's a quick A-Stream update for you. Ents have just been eliminated by Na'Vi.
What a score on that last map.
16-7 in favour of Na'Vi. Mirage went 14-16.
Oh, that really sucks.
Yeah.
Nice try, though. That was a great tournament from them.
Well, let's see then. That leaves Big as the resident underdogs here in Cologne to try and get the job done. And Tabson, there's a man right there. Coldzera spots him, but oh my goodness, how has that just happened? Tabson trying to leave main, and he will be able to get away with it for free. Bolts just sits pretty. Hell of a haircut on the man, but rest of the team moving in towards main, looking like they want to try and go for a fast play in towards this A-bomb. It's like Tizian's burning in the fire. Bolt's going to go ahead and get rid of him through that slight edge of the smoke, but Tabson, what a shot. And now more players about to funnel his way, and Tabson just keeps on lining them up. Next finishes off the remaining two. Between them, they found a very convincing ninth round for Big.
And again, more ops kept forward. Smooya's not been pressured on that B site for quite a while, and therefore we have both these ops carried forward. This is all fine and dandy right now for Big. But again, in this kind of game, with the narrative that we brought into it, in the sense of Big have been throwing away a lot of leads, and mibr have been pulling back a lot of leads, for, well, disadvantages, I guess. I don't think this game is over until it is actually over. Anyone is still in this one. However, for now, Big are going to be very, very comfortable. mibr have just pistols, so a good chance of finding a 10th round on this CT side. That would be a very, very nice cash half, even if it ends there. This map is very equal. Probably, right now, the most equal map in the map pool. I would even say, to some extent, T-sided, but it really does depend on the matchup a lot.
Tizian tagged once with a deagle. Not sure where he caught that bullet. I think that was, yeah, over on quad. Not like it was courtesy of Stewie. These deags yet to really get too much done for mibr. But mid has been entirely given up, which when you're running a double op setup does seem a little bit unusual. But this big side, Smooya's going to get tested here. Of course, he's MIB, made in Britain. God B about to be tested as well. Players come his ways. Ooh, Smooya's been deleted by Stewie, but they're not ready for God B, who lurks in the back line, going to shut down 3. And he has just saved this round, pulled them out of the depths. Will be finished off by Stewie, who's still on a tear, but thanks to God B's heroics, this has been made possible once again. They might have only been unarmored, but they had an AWP. They had the B bomb site. Now Stewie and Fallen. We saw Stewie do an impressive clutch just rounds ago. That was a 1v3. This time he has Fallen with him, but Fallen missed shot leads to the demise of Stewie. Next makes that look easy.
Yeah, I don't know how Fallen didn't hit that. That looked on target, but no. Next is going to duck and dive down below and pick Big up a 10th round. Luckily for them, though, because take into account that never should have come so close. mibr only brought pistols into that round. Very, very limited. They still got a bomb plant and 2 kills, so still a good round. It's going to allow for the buy here, but the problem is, with Big having won so many CT rounds, it's not like mibr have really affected the economy at all here for the last round of the half. They were more hoping to really win that round out of nowhere, and they will not. So it's the last round buy here coming through for the T's. They've not got an AWP to play with, but they've got all the utility they want. This is still a very strong buy. Smooya, again, every time he goes to this, they flash him off. mibr not letting him take advantage of them, but Tabson is a very different story. He's going to smoke his way away after taking that kill to Fallen, getting back up into the vents, and he can just drop into B. Or he can just stick there, but we'll see if he decides to do that.
Molly actually forces Tabson out of vents and down into mid. That's a pretty horrid situation now to have Smooya in. Especially as Tabson's dealt with down in middle. That's an AWP to be retrieved. 4 and 4. Godby going to try and trade back. And it was his heroics in that previous round that made a dangerous situation far less deadly. And he's got aggressive. He gets a lot of information from this. Look at all the angles he's cleared. You can see the effect that's had. Nex has pulled out a Z. He's rotating all the way back through CT, and God B from the vents rains down death on a Stewie. The rest of mibr. Oh, things are pretty warm there for Fur.
Oh, Smooya.
What's that?
Molotov.
That's pretty brutal. Things heat up just as much for Smooya. There's Fur with another. My goodness, the amount of Molotovs that are raining into this position. coldzera's going to get his feet tickled from the heavens by Tizian. 20 seconds, time is of the essence, and this is just going to be a flat-out brawl for the bomb site. Tizian up in the heavens, Smooya holding the cross, got beat, pushing in through that smoke in CT, could get caught out here, has to be careful. No one pre-firing it, there's only 7 seconds. God B going to try and go for the God play.
Oh no.
They are going to go for the bomb plant, and God B tried to deny it, but Bolts has his name, his number, his address, and as a result, locks in a 5th round for mibr.
That is the weirdest, messiest round I've seen in a while. These odds still favouring mibr being 5-10 down. Some of that is due to their comeback ability. We already know it. We already love it. But I would myself say that Big are favoured right now. They have a 10-5 lead. That's pretty significant. And they have a strong T-side as well. So let's see if the Betway odds hold true. But yeah, what a weird round, right? You assume that Big just has that in the bag due to the utility usage, just holding back mibr for so long. But those shots are just fantastic from mibr to get in. If Smooya maybe gets a kill there or on the cross and holds him down, maybe that's a round for Big. But because he doesn't, and mibr just smoke off hell, or lower CT, there's no one from Big that can even fire back. They just have to dive through and hope for the best, and the best is not enough, Harry. It's 10-5. Not a lot of T-side rounds taken for the Brazilians, but let's see if the second half is more their style.
Yeah, they're over on that CT side now. Big. Looking like it's just going to be a play out through mid toward B. The smoke's rained down into connector. They still have a smoke for CT, so they've got everything they need, all the pieces of the puzzle. They just now have to slot them together, and that first involves toppling Fallen and coldzera here. Or coldzera and Stewie, rather, inside of the B bomb site. While they do manage Cold, they don't account for Stu. Oh, that's a team flash and a half. Stewie's been given an opportunity. God B doesn't check it, and now Stewie running rampant is going to go down to Tabson on the headshot angle, and actually he's able to double down as he finds a man up in the heavens. Tabson being tricky, being finicky, does get the bomb down. Bolts edges forward, but Smooya's keeping an eye on the angle.
And with that round's over. Tabson with the ace out of nowhere. Simple as you like it. Couple of quick taps and the round is done and dusted. 20 kills on this man. We were talking about how Tizian has started off this game well, Harry. Well, that's just flipped it. Because Tabson, well, he started the round the same as Tizian. He's now gone far, far beyond. 5 kills there, 11 rounds taken. And with that, this game has suddenly looked a whole lot more difficult for Made in Brazil. Big with a very good opportunity to run away, but look at this buy. This is a bit of a dangerous one. Luckily enough, there's not a heavy stack here on this A bomb site where Big is setting up. They've got a lot of Mac 10s and a MP7 as well up on Smooya. So this is the money maker buy, but it can also really come back to haunt you if these pistols take you down. So let's see if Big can get some success with it. Right now they hold the default with the bomb outside of the A bomb site, so a late split here potentially. The scout up on car with Fallen. Sorry, that's not on car, that's on Z. It's actually coldzera with a deagle on car, but still 3 players here for mibr, and now the push beginning to come through, and that kill will certainly allow for it.
Yeah, Tizian dropping the man close to main. That's for smokes the close angle. That's going to limit Bolts' effectiveness over here in quad. And even then, with Big finding this first kill here, they're still very dubious whether or not to go for this A site offensive. That Molotov going to force Bolts out from quad. They throw that down for MBK on the quad side. Bolts even going to get tagged up that much lower through the smoke. You admire the balls on Cold, but it's not going to happen. Bolts manages one before Tabson trades, and Fallen's hiding in the smoke. He's being very, very tricky. He has that scout. Not able to find anything with it just yet. Tabson and Smooya, if they offer themselves up, they are one-shots. But it doesn't like it's going to happen anytime soon. Fallen really not having a good game right now. Always pains you to see. 3 and 15.
We've not seen many AWPs for mibr, which is, I think, a lot to do with that, right? It's just been their economy getting crushed round after round. They had, like, a couple of double ecos and then a reset straight after that after one single rifle round. So yeah, we've not seen Fulham with the best of opportunities here. Smoothie with 3 kills there. Nice couple of anti-eco frags to give him some money. This will allow for that AWP to come through nice and soon, but for now it's still that eco for mibr. Can I just say, like, we've not seen a CT buy round yet for mibr, so let's not look into this too much, because again, there's still that opportunity for mibr coming up. But this is an absolute wrecking. Big R manhandling this Brazilian team. So we're hoping, and I'm still expecting mibr to try and, you know, have a good attempt at pulling this back once they get rifles. But right now, they are basically 100% dependent on next round. If they don't win that, this game's over.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is hard to take into account. They come here, you know, where formerly as SK, they just had their deepest run in a tournament since Stewie Joyen. Of course, that was at ESL One Belo Horizonte. They managed to make it through to the playoffs, and then they go out in the quarterfinals, I believe it was. No, it was the semis, actually. So they got pretty far. As I said, their deepest run since Stewie joined. I think here they'd love for that progression to continue, right? Especially now that they've joined the mibr brand. It'd be a great thing for them. It carries a lot of nostalgia, a lot of history with it. But if they don't win this, they will be eliminated in the last hurdle of the groups.
But on the flip side, I mean, this is Big's chance to play in front of a local crowd. Many people question the invite, as we've been talking about today, of this German team. Very unproven coming into this event. More specifically, their last LAN.
I tell you what, that they've definitely, if they manage to get there, you can't even say like, oh, it's down a fluke. Like,
no,
they've definitely earned it. Yeah.
Opposition, yeah.
They've played through every physical, like, you know, as lengthy as the process can be to reach the playoffs.
Yeah.
They've gone through the longest possible one and played versus some incredibly difficult teams.
They beat Liquid. They beat Renegades 2-0. You can put a question mark on Renegades, but they still, you know, it's still a good roster, and it's a roster that still gets invited to a lot of these events as well. So, yeah, Big, that's a pretty impressive win. And if they beat this team, like, while this looks far more dominant than any other game they've played so far here in Cologne, this is still a team of incredible high highs. But as we can see right now, incredible low lows. Fulham, 3 kills in 19 rounds currently. But he has got his weapon of choice, and maybe this is where he can start to find some footing, start to turn the tide of battle on this A bomb site that Big so hungrily want. 2 players deep in main. One in Squeaky, the bomb outside here as well. We've got this bonus round as well, so it's really no worry for Big. If they lose it, they can still buy up and try and get this reset. But of course, if they can win it with SMGs, there is so much profit behind that.
Well, Fallen, we mentioned he's been struggling early on. He's here with the AWP. And now would be a time to see a recovery from him up in the heavens. Tizian just taps away at Bolts, makes it look easy. Now Tabson going to get tagged up on top of Red there. Not before he's done some damage on a Fallen, though. And 4v5, mibr very far away. That frag from Stewie now makes this doable. You can see them starting to fall away, and coldzera still doesn't look convinced. They might be saving, and what a call to make.
Yeah.
They don't have a kit, I guess, and it wouldn't be too easy, but they gonna save 4 rifles versus his SMGs.
Like, you're saving at 14-5 now. I'm not sure if Bolts had a kit. If he didn't have a kit, then I totally understand this call, but if he had a kit, that would have been a questionable one. And so I'm assuming he didn't, just for the fact that they would save in that kind of position. But yeah, this is really, really awkward now for mibr. They are getting wrecked, and that buy round did not work out for them. If we can see some exits here for Big, that's just going to add further complications. And Big, they've upgraded those 2 SMGs now both into rifles. Godby taking the gun from the body of Tabson, and Smuyo grabbing a rifle off the body of Bolt. So, Big, free upgrades, money made, rounds to play with. And I don't see Big losing this game now, but anything is possible. We're just going to need some absolute ridiculous heroics from mibr.
We most certainly are. They're going to need to string together 9 rounds in a row to pull this back, even to a 14-14 scoreline. This is really their last-ditch attempt. If they lose this round, they've got nothing. So the waiting on this one is monumental for mibr in this map. Of course, we just saw them have a 16-13 victory on this versus Renegades, a team that Big bested earlier on today. coldzera forced out of the vents. First holding close, but he's only going to manage one before next trades, although this time Bolts claims a frag back elsewhere, and they're going to try and boost up into the vents perhaps, although Smooya's spotted it. I don't think he's going to predict coldzera being there as well. Neither does Nex, as Tizian now finds himself in a clutch scenario, 1v3, bomb on his back, and 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining.
But 18 kills to his name so far this map, and he has been having a strong performance here. The second latest addition, maybe slipping under the radar with all the hype of Smooya being brought in, but this is the most expensive contract buyout in Germany, the addition of Tizian to this roster. And he has been impressive so far, but this would be asking a lot of him. And that's just not going to happen. coldzera cleans it up, 3rd kill that round. Massive B defense from the man himself. And this could be the start of something, Harry. Remember this round, because it might be one that's brought mibr back into the game. The only question mark is, we have so much money for Big. They can buy out for another 2-3 rounds, and by the time their money runs dry, more money will have poured in via loss bonus.
The thing that I think is going to hold mibr back right now is still the man on your screen right now, Fallen, 3-17.
Yeah.
Prolifically someone who can turn the tide of battle single-handedly with his AWPing. You know, you think back, has been struggling quite a lot this year, but I would say this is, you know, one of the worst performances I've seen from him at a LAN event. And I mean, this is it's sad to see, especially now that the mantle of cooling has been taken away from him and gone the way of coldzera. Because you know, now at this point, you almost imagine that
it's map to map, isn't it? Doesn't Cold? I can't remember if they fully gave Fallen the cooling back, or I think it was, I swear it's Cash and Train that Cold calls on. Unless that's changed again. I'm pretty sure Cold's calling here, but don't quote me on that. It's
that's
Cash
what I mean.
And Train
but
that
it's like, you know, you imagine Fallen's gameplay should be stepping up a bit on the back of it, but he's having a hard time right now. If we see him turn things around, I think, you know, suddenly mibr can be straight back into this. But right now, they're essentially feels like they're playing a 4v5. But he's someone who has been on point. The only issue right now is as they funnel into him, he finds himself here alone. That flash is perfect courtesy of that man on Forklift right there. That beautiful man. He set Fur up brilliantly here to keep on clicking heads. Scott B is going to manage one back in return. They finally deal with the Fur. But Scott B now in a 1v4. You do not fancy his odds, and not with Stewie where he is right now.
And mibr won't move a muscle. B's got to be the one forcing the fight, and he does do so to Fallen. First of many kills needed. Bolt's low on the site. With a Molotov in the hands of B, not going to be placed well, but he does have a second one picked up off the floor towards Forklift. He's burning the back of this site apart, but 30 seconds left. Got to force this next fight, and look at Stewie. He's completely wrapped in from the back, but it doesn't matter. B not going to be able to find the kill onto Bolts, and that will be mibr winning another round. And the good part about these rounds, Harry, is they are convincing. mibr are not losing too many players, so at the end of the day, they're making money. And that means even when, or if Big hit 15 rounds, mibr are eventually going to be able to rebuy and reset. Talking of money, it's a bit of an awkward spot here for Big.
Yeah, it's a weird spot, definitely. I think you buy, right? If you're Big, you have a massive lead. You can look to chip away at the mibr's economy.
They are a team that don't like to force in these situations, so I wouldn't be surprised if they
I would
go for
argue
pistols.
it's not really even a force, is it? I mean, you can get an AWP out, B can throw one over. He just takes a hit, right, in terms of, like, Smooya maybe throws him a UMP, and then they have rifles on everyone else anyway. So the buy is pretty good.
Oh, I agree. I just don't think they'll do it. I wouldn't be surprised if they get pistols and armor here and just go for like a fast A smoke play or just a B Molotov rush.
I'm just, you know, I'm just imagining if I'm B, I love B. I watch him play quite a bit. And I have him on Steam. I can message him right now and just be like, what's the plan, bro? But, yeah.
Don't think he's going to tell you.
No, I don't think he will. I don't know. If I'm looking at this, right, I don't want that CT side economy to keep swelling. And I have the money to get a buy here. Where, you know, so there's always the chance that I can start to chip that away.
I think the only justification that Big would use for themselves to buy here is if they'd taken like 2 rounds where they found 3, 4, 5 kills, and they know that if you win this round, mibr are on eco, but if we look at the money of mibr, that's just not the case. They can buy up regardless of what happens here. So let's just see. We'll see how Big choose to invest. They might just go for the straight-up force. And in fact, yeah, you are right. They'll go for it. So it's not a huge worry, but they do save a little bit of money, which means they're waiting for some form of loss bonus. They take a middle ground, Harry, which I like. That's fine. They've still got cash saved, somewhat. Oh, not on Tizian. He wants nothing to do with that. He is not a saver. He is a big spender.
Well, early on, they throw a smoke for the cross. Stewie's looking like he wants to go through it. And Stewie is a man who loves playing around in a smoke. Decides against it. One thing I love is so many team names are playing, with initials. I love it when people come up with alternative reasons for the initials to exist. We'll go back to that anyway. Fallen looking to try and hold this off. This is a big moment for him, and he's got players coming his way. coldZera going to manage one as well. And a second, he's trying to steal the show away from Fallen, despite the fact these shots come through the smoke. And Fallen, that's much better. The double ops prevail as between them. Fallen and coldZera chained together that round. mibr are going to move on to an 8th. And now there's no money for Big. The pause called in, and now this is where we see them go for the eco.
Yeah.
Money now is definitely swelling for mibr.
I'm not going to lie, I have no idea what the hell that setup was on B for mibr.
Yeah.
They had 2 AWPs and a 3rd player. Like, why? It worked wonderfully. Fantastic round. Why?
Yeah, I didn't actually. I didn't catch what was going on A, but I think we might have had someone go a little bit aggressive, pushing into main. I know Fur did that in the round prior.
They set up there with 2 AWPs, is why I was confused. I think, unless coldZera was heaven. I actually didn't see.
coldZera was CT. I think he rotated him from mid.
You might be right then.
But one thing I was gonna say was about the whole alternate
the names.
Someone came up with NIP was never in playoffs. I thought that was quite good. If anyone else has any big memes, like literally BIG.
Yeah, BIG. Nice.
Just get them out to Hugo and I. We appreciate them.
What is that? Berlin International Gaming? Is that?
Yeah, I think you actually hit the nail on the head with that one.
Boom. Yeah,
hey,
I'm right.
we just got a correct in the ear.
Well, I mean, we are in Germany, so I feel like everyone here is going to know that, including us.
You can call it by their full names in this round. Berlin International Gaming versus Made in Brazil. 14-8. Oh, Fur on this aggression.
How does he get 2?
How's he done that? 3 big kills, and Hugo's mind is blowing.
Oh.
Got beat with armor behind this M4. Going to make things that much more costly as he picks up bolts. Oh, maybe another one of Fallen. God, B's bought this back, but he's not ready for Stewie inside of the bomb site. Didn't catch him on the cross. mibr are going to be securing a 9th round, 5 between them and Big right now.
But that's good. That's money for Big. They've just taken some hefty chunk out of the mibr cash fund. Their holiday money, Harry. They can't go to Disneyland this Christmas. I never got that as well. I don't know why people go to Disneyland on Christmas. Like, I don't think Disney is the most Christmassy place. Maybe it is, actually. I've never been there. Maybe that's something I need to do.
Just received a nice little message from a fella named Sadazvam, who says, yeah, Fallen is back to calling.
Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, I wasn't sure, because we had that time where Cole was calling on like 2 maps, and I'm pretty sure they were Cash and Train, and then they said that Fallen was calling again, but I wasn't sure if that was completely for every map.
Yeah, well, that was my issue, right?
Yeah, I wasn't sure on that, so thank you for that.
It's always nice to be well informed.
Yes, always important. I don't know everything. I'm not going to pretend.
I am going to pretend. No.
No, Harry, you do know everything.
I actively embrace that I know very little. But,
that's a good point.
And you know what they say? You don't know what you don't know. Does that make sense? That's a big saying.
That is, I guess, technically true, by definition.
I can't remember whose psychological principle that is, but it's a very interesting one. Anyway, Smooya and Nex over here towards this B-bomb site. Stewie up in the vents, and coldZera inside of the B. Fair and bolts on highway. That's going to leave Fallen on MBK, all on his lonesome. And if you look at how many Molotovs there are on the side of Big, there's a lot of fire that could be spat his way, so he's going to get out of that position. Now Big boosting up into middle.
Oof. You do hate to see that nice chunky nade down to 20 HP on Tabson. Stewie still close as well, so if Tabson bursts up here, that's surely a kill for Stewie, but instead he falls off, doesn't want to receive another nice HE grenade, and that's a push through for Stewie. Very, very confident. This player We do know that though, but the problem is he turned back around and Nex is going to take his head clean off. Bolts here in main, flash through with one bomb drop, but Smooya's right behind him. He somehow gets out of main, but he won't at least stay alive for much longer because Smooya's chasing him down and Godby's dropped another man in the meantime, leaving just these two AWPing players, the Cooler and Cold Zero, but Fallen's kicked it off and Cold Zero maybe joining him. He's not needed, Fallen's on 2. That's the bomb drop, but the trade's back in and Cold Zero trying to catch the cross, trying to cut this off, and he may just do that, but the timing! Next makes his way to the site.
Bomb's gonna go down, the bomb gets planted. That's not planted for main, you can defuse it without peeking into that position. But to stand any chance, Cold has to at least find one of these players. Tizian's up close on the forklift, and he's going to win it. Big reach map point here on Cash, 15-9. Try as Fallen might. They can't hold on to the round.
And what was that, 5 rounds in a row from mibr? We said it was so possible. If 14-4, 14-5, I think, to Big before mibr started to pull it back. And as we said, it's totally doable. It's just very, very difficult at that scoreline. And they put in a valiant attempt so far. Of course, it's not over. They've still got money, as we said, because Big hadn't been doing that much damage, apart from that one round where Godby finds 3 kills. mibr had kept 3 players alive every single time. So Double AWP is back in. Big is still in control of this game, but they should probably try and close it out now before it gets out of control.
Well, they tried to assemble the boost up onto Shroud, and that has not gone to plan. Tizian, I think he just spotted bolts there at the very end. Struggled to gain too much from that, though. And actually, looking at mibr's setup, they've realized the vulnerability over here on this A-bomb site. You can see how that's fresh in their mind. Cold Zera over at the truck. Fallen watching on highway. He's got a very, very fast rotation. And then Fur and Bolts inside of this bomb site. If I'm Big, I don't want to be anywhere near A with how this setup is from mibr. No amount of smokes, Molotovs, etc. is going to make me feel secure in that fact. With this 4-man hold here, this is going to be one hell of a feat if Big managed to find success in this site still.
Smooya setting up a flash to try and get his team into this round, to allow tabseN to open up like we know he can. Fur, really good angle here, but as that smoke fades in main, he's going to be very susceptible to the split that Big are trying to throw in. Molotov's going to hold them back, and Big, they can't afford to waste more time. We have 2 incendiaries left up on mibr, and only 30 seconds left. Big have got to go. They cannot sit around, and Godby is sitting in the open as the smoke fades. tabseN runs right through, and Fur jumps up, but he jumps to his death because tabseN's ready for it. Bolt's in the corner, not for long, and tabseN's climbing up for a third, but Fallen locks him down from middle. It's Cold Zero to try and save the day, but Smooya's got his number, and not a second, but Fallen's dived in, the bomb's down, and Fallen's doubled it, looking for a third, and Next pulls back. It's Big in a 2-on-1.
It all falls onto Stewie from main. He's been so good in these clutch scenarios for mibr. They need him now more than ever. And there's the first frag found by young Stewie. There is still 1 man left, and that's Smooya. 1v1. Oh, he's going to go peeking on out. Smooya locks in this first map for Big. They're going to go 1-0 up in the series. They take it 16-9.